Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of a live commentary live stream on the channel. Of course, earlier today we had our first one of the year. This is a continuation of that as we are live for the Busch Light Clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum. The main event race will take place at the top of the, well, I guess at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is 6 p.m. now. You're currently in the middle of driver introductions. I'm sure the race will start no later than 6:30 here tonight, but we are live at 6 p.m. accordingly, as we expected. Tristan Games, Billy Kramer, Brian Rodriguez, Ashton G. Who else we have in the chat already? Patrick Shadley. Welcome to the stream, everybody. The raw feed is not up yet on NASCAR's website currently. How was your food? Was it good? I just had a couple of turkey sandwiches. That's all I ate. A couple of cold cut sandwiches. That's all I had. Once the raw feed's available, I will have that up on the channel. For right now, you're just kind of seeing double of me for the meantime. There will be a caution halfway through for a performance with Ice Cube. Yes, the performance of Ice Cube is not the reason why they're having a halftime performance. They were going to have a halftime anyway at lap 75 to refuel the car, so they decided to have a... I'm sure it'll probably only be like 2 or 3 songs at the most, or it'll be almost like a Super Bowl halftime show where they're probably going to have like a couple verses, a couple choruses of a few songs, and that'll be about it, if I had to guess. Fervor Express, Kyle the King fan, welcome to the stream. Forgot you existed, not gonna lie. Well, welcome back. Thanks for remembering. Comment down below your picks to win the Busch Clash tonight. Of course, a live commentary of the race will be when the race actually begins. And we'll go through the starting lineup in tonight's race once we get the raw feed up. I could go to NASCAR's website right now, but I don't think... Oh, it is? Okay, I can go to it now. I couldn't go to it a couple minutes ago, but it's open now. There we go. Matt White, welcome to the stream. Blaney all day. That's my favorite driver. I hope so, but starting mid-pack at 13th, anybody can win this thing, but Kyle Busch is the favorite. I would think so. He is my pick to win tonight's race. So back in the predictions video a few hours ago when we had our prediction / pre-race live stream, went through the drivers to watch out for, the drivers who I thought would struggle today based on how they ran in practice and qualifying, as well as even maybe recent short track success for the better or for the worse. And we had 2 drivers that were must-haves, 2 dark horse picks that kind of floated into the must-have category, or guys that would run well. And then there were 3 drivers specifically that I had that I didn't think were going to run well tonight or even potentially miss the show. Kyle Busch was first and foremost one of the drivers to watch. Again, he is my pick to win the race. Tyler Reddick, though, he was also one of my picks to run very well. They both won their heat race. They will be starting on the front row for the main event. The other 2 drivers I talked about in a positive form was William Byron. Byron will be starting 7th. He finished in 2nd place in heat race number 3. And then Chase Elliott, who I thought could contend for the win. He's actually the furthest back of the 4 that I stated that were drivers that would at bare minimum at least get a top 10, if not compete for a win. And Chase Elliott will be starting in the 15th position. As far as the drivers that I said would not run well going into the night, 2 of them missed the main event. 1 made it virtue of a provisional. Martin Truex Jr. I didn't think was going to run well based off of qualifying and practice times. He far and away was the worst Toyota driver, not just for Joe Gibbs Racing, but as Toyota as a whole. He gets in virtue of the points provisional. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have made it. I mean, he could have raced his way in the last chance qualifier. Knowing how that race went, it's a good thing he decided to pull out before the race started, so he would have that provisional. He'll be starting last in the field today. I don't think he gets a top 10, not only because he's starting last, but again, he just has not looked great all race weekend long. And the other 2 drivers that I had that didn't make it were both for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. That was Brad Keselowski himself and Chris Buescher. They both failed to make it into the main event. And they were both outside the top 20 in qualifying and practice all weekend. They did not look strong at all in their heats or the last chance qualifier. Keselowski pretty much ran in the back the entire heat race he was in, the entire last chance qualifier. Buescher mixed it up a little bit there with Harvick in the heat race. I think he finished 5th in his heat, and then he ended up just not being there at the end during his last chance race. Luke Jarvis 07, welcome to the stream. What are your thoughts on the next gen car? It looks better now that I'm actually seeing it on TV in an actual race. The numbers actually do pop better than what I thought they would, which is, I think, what I and most fans were fearing with the numbers being slid forward, that maybe they weren't going to pop as well. It's honestly not that bad. Now, I haven't seen a race in person yet, and I won't until Speed Weeks. The dual races will be my first instance in watching a race in person this year with the next-gen car. So maybe, I'll have different opinions with it right at that point. As of right now, I'm seeing what you guys are seeing, and I don't think it's as bad. It's putting together good short track racing. We knew it would. I mean, honestly, even short track when it comes to a quarter mile, though, I mean, could any car put bad racing on it? Like, if we had the Gen 6 car for this race specifically still, I don't think the racing would be any different from what you see today. Actually, I think the racing is better today, only off the sole fact that the tires are able to last with a bunch of contact, where in the old Gen 6 cars, there would have been flat tires left and right, especially in that last chance qualifier. But that was not the case with the next-gen car, so that is awesome. That'll be better on, say, 1.5 miles if somebody gets into the wall. Obviously, if you hit it hard enough still, you're going to be done, which we even saw in the last chance qualifier, but not one little slight graze isn't going to cut your tire like it would beforehand. Who's in the 42? Ty Dillon's in the 42. Want Metallica halftime show? I am on board with that. They need to get Metallica on the Super Bowl halftime show. How have they not done one yet? It would kind of suck, though, because for somebody that likes going to concerts, I like listening to the full song from start to finish. I don't like listening to 30 seconds to a minute of a song and then going to another song, so that would kind of suck in that aspect of it. But then again, if they played a full song, they would only be able to get through maybe 2. Which they could easily do. I mean, there's 2 universal songs that they could play that everybody would be jamming out to that most people know or have at least heard. It's about to ask who drove the 5. That would be Kyle Larson. I mean, you can ask any questions you want. Obviously, the race hasn't started yet, so I'm looking at the chat a lot right now. Tyler Reddick won a race? No. Well, he won a heat race. I mean, it doesn't count as actual statistical wins. This is a non-points race as a whole, so there's that. I still plan on doing driver interviews. I did them last year. No problem. But then this year, the very first race, which would have been the heat races and the qualifying races I commentated for and we live streamed earlier today, I was having monetization issues with it. The stream is still up, but there's an ad suitability claim, and I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know what else it would be for. It's under review right now. But that kind of stinks. I mean, at least with this being a non-points race, I can, whatever the fallout is from this will be for the rest of the season going forward. But I did that all year last year. I don't know if it's because I've been getting more views with the live commentary live streams now, so it's more of an issue than what it used to be, but whatever the case. $14 people watch right now. Like, share, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Trust me when I say the commentary will start when the race starts. We're still waiting for that. They just got done with driver introductions not that long ago, but they should be starting up here probably within the next 15 minutes. We'll see the drop of the green flag. Oh, hang on. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how I hid you. Cal the King fan, I fat fingered it. I didn't mean to hide you from the chat. I don't even know how I did that. I did not mean to do that. I don't know. I don't even know how I hid you. That was a complete accident. You're unhidden. I had like my poem on my phone, and for some reason it hid you for my messages because I have my phone on for the chat because I'm watching or I have the live scoring on my laptop. There's quite a few people there. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be a little bit less, to be completely honest. Can't see the other end of the racetrack really, but guess they have Blake Shelton in the booth. I don't know if he's going to be there for the full race or not, but $21 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Sorry if I'm not talking a lot right now. There's not really much to really talk about. We can go through the starting lineup. Let's do that. So there's not a bunch of dead air going around. Comment down below anything you want in the chat that you would like for me to. Duck rule. Fighting about football and a NASCAR stream. What is going on here? All right. Starting lineup for today's Busch Light Clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum will look like this. Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick will be on the front row after winning heat races 1 and 2. Busch also qualified on the top last night in the qualifying overall session. Justin Haley and Joey Logano in row 2. They won heat races 3 and 4. Also qualified inside the top 4 as well. Daniel Suarez and Chase Briscoe will be in row 3. Suarez impressed, was actually pretty close to Kyle Busch on speed in the heat race, and he did qualify 5th overall. That's where he starts this race. William Byron and Kyle Larson make up a Hendrick Motorsports row number 4. Byron, one of the drivers to watch out for today. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Austin Dillon will line up in row number 5. Stenhouse finished 3rd in his heat, as well as Austin Dillon. Christopher Bell and Michael McDowell will line up in row number 6. McDowell, last year's Daytona 500 winner, trying to get this year kicked off with a bang as well. Ryan Blaney and Cole Custer will line up in row number 7. Blaney was very close to getting knocked out, got his final spot in on the last couple laps as he was battling both Stenhouse and Hamlin to get in through the heat race. He was able to hang on for 4th. Chase Elliott and Eric Jones will line up in row number 8. Elliott, another one of the drivers to look out for in today's race based off of the predictions in the pre-race. In row number 9, it'll be Denny Hamlin. Row number 9 will be Denny Hamlin and Ryan Preece. Denny Hamlin was the winner in his last chance qualifying race. Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace will line up in the next row in row number 10. Wallace made it in that 3rd and final position, but then ended up getting moved up to 2nd. And this driver got in through the last chance qualifying race after the race was over. In row number 11 was AJ Allmendinger and Harrison Burton. So again, Harrison Burton is in. We actually ended the live stream before they had come back from the commercial break and stated to everybody that Ty Dillon did not make it after he had jumped the final restart. He actually jumped the restart earlier in the last chance qualifying race as well. So it was a second restart he had jumped throughout the course of the race, and he is no longer in. Otherwise, he actually did finish 2nd, but he got disqualified because of it. Harrison Burton will line up as the only rookie to make it into the Busch Clash. Martin Truex Jr. will round out the field in 23rd, all by himself at the rear of the field. Like Ryan Blaney dumped me? What do you mean by that? Comment down below who you think is going to win the Busch Clash tonight before we get things started. 24 people down in the chat as of right now. Now up to 25. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content along the way. You'll be hearing the live, realistic commentary throughout tonight's race. Driver interviews from anybody throughout the course of the race that may get dumped or have their night come to an end prematurely. I doubt that the 23 cars that are starting this race will finish this main event 150-lap race. Dark Crypto, welcome into the chat. Welcome everybody who I have not already called out. National Anthem is about to begin as of right now as they still go through the pre-race ceremonies. When I get to the bottom of this ad suitability claim that I had on my last stream from earlier tonight, when I did the commentary for the heat races, if it gets resolved, then we will definitely have driver interviews throughout the course of tonight's race. But we may not have driver interviews like I originally had going earlier tonight, depending on that. I don't want the stream to have risk of getting taken down like I'm trying to fight the other one from earlier today. I never had an issue with that before. Never had an issue with it before, but for whatever reason, first race this season, I'm having an issue with it. Cerebral Assassin, welcome to the stream. The Austin 48 fan, Hunter, welcome to the stream. Think they should have called the race the Busch crash at the end of the cuss. I mean, the way that last chance qualifier was, that was, everybody was doing everybody dirty. Triple H joins the stream, yes. The King of Kings is in the chat. Restart Windows. No, not right now. Can't be doing that right now. Let me know if you guys could see everything on the raw feed clearly. Might be able to expand it a little bit. Yep, Blaney will be starting 15th. Pulling for him, obviously. I've got the gear on. I have the flag in the background. I'll be doing live commentary, but in the back of my head, I will be rooting for him like I always do. Great crowd on hands. I think the turnout was a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be. Honestly, for an exhibition race, it's really good. I mean, the All-Star race hasn't sold out in a long time. I mean, you have to go back to probably the mid to late 2000s last time the All-Star race sold out. Same goes for the Clash or the Sprint Unlimited, the Shootout, whatever they ended up calling it at Daytona that we'd usually see this race happening at. Rod G, welcome to the stream. C17 with the flyby. That's one thing. You go to a race between the National Anthem and then the flyby, coolest thing to get you amped up for the race, and I can't wait for Daytona in 2 weeks, I guess, when that happens in front of 150,000 in the grandstands and hear the roar of the crowd, and I will be pumped and ready than ever. 30 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Race is about to resume when they come back from the commercial break. I'm sure they will be on their pace laps. Is there a fan vote just like the All-Star race tonight? No, no fan vote tonight. There was a provisional. It was based off of points from last season. It was the best. There were 22 that had to race their way in. One driver didn't have to race their way in, but that would have been the top finisher in points from last season that didn't race their way in, which, believe it or not, was Martin Truex Jr. So Martin Truex Jr., if he didn't have that provisional, would have missed the main event tonight. That would have been huge. I mean, there were a couple bigger upsets. Kurt Busch didn't make it. His first race with 23.11, he got wrecked out. Alex Bowman didn't make it. He's the only Hendrick car not in this. Kevin Ware, welcome to the stream. Should be the Thunderbirds. Oh yeah, they go big or go home, I'm sure, for Daytona. Who's her? Oh, I'm here. Okay. I was like, who's her? I will try to get to the chat as much as I can during the actual portion of the race. It's going to be hard unless it's a commercial break. Or, of course, that stoppage we'll end up having at the midway point. I'm sure we'll have some driver interviews there. Obviously, it's going to depend on my ad suitability claim that is already foregoing from the heat race stream earlier today. I wish it would tell you what the claim was for. Submitted a video for monetization, but don't see ads on it. And see, the thing is, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't know. I can't see my own ads, so you guys would have to let me know down in the chat what the issue was with the stream earlier today, if there were any ads or anything of that nature. 41 people watching. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Inside Uranus, welcome as well. Cars One Boy, welcome. Great to see many familiar and new faces down in the chat. Again, hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We are about to get into this one. We are only minutes away from the drop of the green flag for the Busch Light Clash. The LA Coliseum. Now up to 50 people watching. Let's go. Let's see if we can set a new stream record. Our stream record from last year was the Talladega playoff race. I think we hit, I can't remember the exact number now because it's been a while. Been since October, but I know we hit over 300 that day. So we'll see. Yo, 150 laps tonight. They wasted 23 minutes. 25 and counting. Usually when they say the coverage starts at 6, the race usually starts at 6:15, 6:20. It's usually 15 to 20 minutes after the airtime starts. But they're a little bit behind schedule right now. I think some of that might be because of how late the last clash or the last chance qualifier ended up running. So that race did go a little bit long for anybody that watched it or listened to it here on the channel. I don't know what our record is for likes on a stream, but maybe we could just set a new one today. I would imagine it was probably in the couple hundreds that Talladega stream. I would have to guess. I think we can get to 100 likes on the stream in tonight's race. It's not a full race, though, so usually these full race streams go 2.5 to 3 hours. This race is probably going to be done by 8 o'clock. Well, then again, it's almost 6:30 and they haven't started yet, so maybe it'll go to like 8:30. I was expecting an hour and a half to 2 hours. It won't be that long of a race in the grand scheme of things. That makes sense. Forgot about the yeah, that's the only thing I could think of, because otherwise it probably would have started between 5 to 10 minutes ago. Josh Kajorski, welcome to the stream. Let's go, number 19. He's starting at the back. We'll see. Seth frickin' Rollins, welcome to the stream. Burn it down, indeed. I don't know what the air... Doesn't the airtime go to like 6? Peyton, welcome back. Say, Blaney finishes 18th. I hope he finishes better than that. There's no points tonight, so if you don't win, I guess I really don't care where I mean, obviously, I hope he doesn't finish way at the back, but it's not like it's going to cost him in the regular season standings at all, because there's no points. They do award points for the dual races, though, for the top 10 at least. So that'll be the first legitimate points race of the night, or the season. 5 to 6 cars will DNF tonight. I think that's a good prediction. I'm going to say somewhere within the 12 to... You got to figure, though, the drivers that were in that last chance qualifier, the second one, I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of the, you know, big-time NASCAR drivers racing like that at the end of the race. Like, you might see some... You're going to see some bump and runs. Not might. You will see some bump and runs. Too many Grand Marshals. Yeah, they're still announcing the Grand Marshals. On my end. Well, they're done announcing them, but they're still prolonging the... It definitely got to be a record for the most Grand Marshals in a single race. And the fact that this is an exhibition race, though. They are dragging this on out. Everyone DNFs except Kyle Busch. Jeez. Evie, welcome to the stream. Well, Busch is my pick to win. Let's see if I can start 1 for 1. I mean, it's a 9-points race, so it won't count against me. But I'm trying to set my record. 2020, first year on the channel, I predicted 9 races correctly. Last year, I only had 6 right. The Q to 70, welcome to the stream. Rip Dylan, kid off. If he was a big name, everyone would say what a great restart. Well, I mean, I think if he didn't jump a restart earlier in the race, that might have not persuaded them to black flag him the second time. And I don't think that should be a justification for why he got black flagged. But because he did legitimately jump one earlier in the race, that one was, you know, borderline. And because he did earlier in the race, I think you just got to be consistent with the calls and say that. I mean, that we claim NASCAR's inconsistent with the calls, but you have to go in a race-to-race or a game-to-game basis like you would with any other sport. Like, a game is not going to be officiated, you know, and not every game is officiated the same directly. I think the same should probably be considered with NASCAR too. I'd like them to be more consistent also, but at least they're consistent tonight in the aspect that they already set the precedence earlier on in that race, and he jumped it again. So, you know, what are you gonna... You can't black flag him the first time and not black flag him the second time. Now, hopefully, in the main event tonight, we see the same thing going forward, where if we see anybody jump the start, they black flag him, because they've set the precedence already. So if they stay consistent with that call throughout the course of the night, I have no problem with it, personally. I broke Edge's neck. He didn't do a good job. He's back. Man, we had 7 cautions in the 50 lap. I think we only see 2 or 3 at the most in the first 75. The second 75, I think we see more. But I don't think we see that much. We might not even see any of the first... Well, I don't know. I do think the first 75 is going to be similar to what you saw in the heat races. You're going to see some beating and banging because it's so short of a track, you can't not make contact. It's just not possible. Drew Baum, welcome to the stream. Fox need to get their production game. So many technical errors in the broadcast. I have noticed that, though. It does seem like they kind of like... They're having some audio issues with some certain interviews throughout the course of the night. It is the first race of the season. And I think that is kind of the downfall of having the spectacle of an event to start the year. From a production standpoint. Well, we have our first bot down in the chat. We didn't have one earlier. One to 3 yellows in the first 75, 10 to 25 in the last 75. We're going to see a record in the final 75 laps alone. Greatly appreciate, again, everybody coming out tonight. 21 likes. Let's see if we can get to 1.5 thousand subs by the end of the night. We'll see. I know it's a lot, but it's realistic. Well, considering the caution laps don't count, it is possible, yes. I don't think they're setting a record tonight, though. We've seen some last chance qualifiers be like that in the All-Star race as well. If Blaney wins, will you show them all? Yeah, potentially. Maybe. I'll probably take my hat off out of, like, just not thinking about it. You know, flipping it up. Should be driving go-karts. Honestly, a quarter mile would be a big go-kart track. That'd be huge. I mean, they'd be flying. They're a lot lighter than these cars, so they'd actually probably be going faster. Especially on asphalt. Yep, 150 laps and cautions do not count. You are correct. Already had 64 people watching. The race hasn't even started yet. They are on the pace laps right now, so trust me, the live commentary will be coming. Within probably the next 60 seconds at the most, if I had to guarantee here. Could be, well, if they wrecked every lap, they'd just be at lap 1 every lap, wouldn't they? Total purse is $1.9 million. I still don't know what the winner's purse is, though. That's just the purse throughout the entire field. Dawkins blew a 28-3 lead. Seth frickin' Rollins he's at people's throats down in the chat below. Well, the crowd's pumped, we're pumped, I'm pumped, green flag is in the air, and we're underway. The 2022 NASCAR season is upon us. Kyle Busch side by side for the lead with Tyler Reddick, 2 and 3 wide, further back in the pack as they roar through turns 3 and 4, and by inches, Tyler Reddick will lead lap 1 over Kyle Busch as he is holding strong on the outside lane. Busch continuing to try and rub up alongside of him, and finally Reddick is able to get in line behind Busch after Busch beats him off of turn 2. Now 2 laps led, lead change at the line again. Now it's Kyle Busch leading his first lap. 14 of Chase Briscoe, the only car on the outside within the top 5 or 6 cars as he is still stuck there. Hendrick Brigade to the inside of Byron and now Larson. Reddick battling back to the inside of Busch for the lead. He is there. Busch struggling for grip off the exit of turn 4, nearly gets into the wall, and Reddick now has the lead. Already a couple lead changes, and we're only 5 laps in. Busch was able to get back down in line behind him before the 31 of Justin Haley for Colleague Racing was able to fill the gap. Mikey the Tiger, welcome to the stream. Cindric is out. Yes, he did not make it to the main event. Reddick first, Kyle Busch second, Justin Haley third, Joey Logano fourth, and Daniel Suarez rounds out the top 5 at the start. William Byron 6th, Kyle Larson 7th, Chase Briscoe 8th, Michael McDowell 9th. Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. And just for a perspective of things, the back of the field, as of right now, is only a quarter track ahead of race leader Tyler Reddick as far as trying not to get lapped. So if you're starting at the back, you need to hustle, because you need to stay on the lead lap before the end of the first 75 laps if you're going to want a good shot at winning this race come the end of it. Patricia Toms, welcome to the stream. Haley did win his heat race. Yes, he is starting third. And currently running third because of it. Haley's actually putting a lot of pressure right now on Kyle Busch. Remember, Haley has a Cup Series win. He won back in 2019 while running part-time for Spire Motorsports in the then 16 car. A rain-shortened Daytona race. Reddick slowly getting away from Busch, and already they're only a few car lengths back, maybe a couple seconds at the most back behind the rear of the field. Lap traffic is going to be a big, big factor, I'm sure, of who is going to win this race. The fact that we are only 13 laps in, we're already about to get there. Not because those guys are slow by any means. These are the 23 fastest cars over the course of the night and over the course of the race weekend. But the fact that it's only a quarter-mile short track, this is actually quite a few cars for this small of a track. I believe Bubba Wallace is currently 23rd on the grid and probably has the most damage of any car in the field right now after those last chance races, if I had to imagine. Danny the Camper, welcome to the stream. A lot of bumper tag going on at the back of the pack. A little chain reaction of moves between Harrison Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace trying not to run over each other, but they're trying to get out of the way because the race leader, Tyler Reddick, is right behind them. As they work their way into turn 3, Kyle Busch is closing in quickly on Reddick, who struggles to put Wallace a lap down. Reddick finally gets to the inside of Wallace into turn 3. But Kyle Busch is already closed in on Tyler Reddick in the process. Oh, big bumper tag going on. Stenhouse gets ran into from behind by Denny Hamlin, and they're not that far in front of the leaders. And Hamlin's now going to go a lap down after getting shuffled to the outside, and Truex is trying to get now underneath the 47 of Stenhouse. Reddick is there. Side by side between Truex and Stenhouse. Reddick has a lap car between himself and race leader or second place driver Kyle Busch. That would be Busch's teammate Hamlin. Hamlin to the inside of Stenhouse for position as they battle now for 21st. And the battle to be the first car lap down to lap 75 is going to be crucial to watch as well. Or whatever caution comes before that. Larson gets nearly turned off the front bumper of the 99 of Daniel Suarez. They battle for 5th place. Suarez is all over him. Corner after corner. Trying to move him out of the way. Lap car in front of Larson, so he's not really able to get the full potential out of his car. Suarez slips trying to pick the throttle back up after beating on the back of the 5 car, and Byron nearly got around him, now has to file back in line behind him. Gary Oakman, welcome to the stream. Welcome from Utah. Reddick has a 1-second lead right now over Kyle Busch. Still that one lap car of Denny Hamlin between the two of them. It is a congested mess right now with lap cars in between, really 4th all the way back through about 12th. Bit of a gap now built up between Truex and the car in front of him. Truex not very comfortably ahead of Reddick, but enough to at least buy himself enough time to ride it out for now. But once they catch further cars further up in the pack ahead, become a lot more different. Hamlin has now muscled his way to the inside of Tyler Reddick to get back on the lead lap. Remember, these drivers that were running in the heat race have only ran 25 laps consecutively on this track. The drivers from the last chance race, like Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, and a few others, Kevin Harvick, AJ Allmendinger, they have extra lap time, extra practice, because outside of the 25 laps in the heat race, only 8 minutes of practice yesterday and 2 qualifying laps, so not a lot of practice leading into this weekend's event. And that could be a detriment to some of those drivers that actually started further towards the front of the field. Hamlin going to work, getting back on the lead lap now, which would leave only 2 cars a lap down, 32 laps in. Ad break right now from Fox. Top 10 again. Tyler Reddick first. Kyle Busch second. Justin Haley third. Joey Logano fourth. Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5. Daniel Suarez in 6th. William Byron 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. Austin Dillon 9th. And Cole Custer rounds out the top 10. Eric Jones in 11th. Ryan Blaney 12th. Chase Elliott 13th. Christopher Bell 14th. Michael McDowell 15th. AJ Allmendinger running part-time this season, 16th. Kevin Harvick, 17th. Harrison Burton, 18th. Ryan Preece, 19th. Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 20. Hamlin last car on the lead lap at 21st. Stenhouse, Wallace, lap down, 22nd and 23rd. $82 people watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live commentary races are first of 22 this season. And the tracks I will be at this year, we'll be doing some race highlight videos from the grandstands as well as other related content at the track on that weekend. Some NASCAR video game stuff during the week with some live commentary, realistic commentary there, all in the hopes of one day getting into the booth down the road. Looks like you guys are having some fun down in the chat tonight. Imagine night at Dega, people will be flipping over the catch fence. I don't think that's going to make the air any different than what it would before. That would make them flip that high, but I get what you're saying. Kind of. I would assume this is going to be the only ad break before the end of our first 75 laps leading into the Comp Yellow. Well, it wasn't much of a remodel. It was just a repainting of the wall and just shifting my room around with how the everything's set up right now. This is going to be a NASCAR wall throughout the course of the season. I'll only be adding to it as I go to the tracks and pick up more stuff along the way. Race is going to be fast. Yes, it is. I'm sure it'll slow up if we get cautions in the second half, but I kind of figured the first 75 to be the most tame. We've seen a lot of good short track racing so far through 43 laps, though, as Fox is now back from their commercial break. That's the one thing with exhibition races I found out from going to the Bristol All-Star race in 2020. The race just flies by. It's so much shorter, and that's why I never wanted to really go to another exhibition race again. I didn't want to go to one before that because I knew it was only going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours at the most of actual racing. But at least I could say I've at least seen one. Still a fun time, though. Oh, there's another bot. I missed it. I was looking away from the chat just long enough. Thanks for the mods getting rid of the bot. Reddick still has only about a 1.3 second lead over Kyle Busch. Joey Logano was able to get around Justin Haley during the commercial break for third. Larson now all over the back of Haley for fourth. Bubba Wallace has passed Martin Truex Jr. for position. That would be for 20th. Currently, Michael McDowell's the first car, one lap down in 18th. Harrison Burton in 17th, the last car in the lead lap. As Reddick continues to work his way through the field, Busch was able to lead a few laps today. Him and Reddick swapped the lead back and forth a couple times before Reddick eventually started to pull away. And two of the must-haves running 1-2. Throughout most of this race so far, we're already at just 100 laps to go in the Busch Light Clash. Kyle Busch now 3 seconds back as that lead is only getting bigger and bigger. I think Reddick's got a lot less traffic to get through versus Kyle Busch struggling with the lap traffic now. And all of a sudden, Kyle Busch is only about 2 to 3 car lengths ahead, and there's a car around. Off turn 4, caution is out. For the first time tonight, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has spun. He was already 1 lap down before spinning, and now we have our first restart coming up very shortly. This will stack the leaders all back up again. That 3-second lead Tyler Reddick had will be gone. And Denny Hamlin has a mechanical issue. He is now pulling into the garage or into the pit lane, and they're going to try to make some quick adjustments. Remember, caution laps don't count, so I don't think he's going to actually lose a lap if they can make the quick fix. He's having an overheating issue, according to Clint Boyer in the Fox booth. So Denny is pitting because he is having an overheating issue right now. Some damage to the front of his race car. Remember, he was in an event a little bit earlier, the last chance qualifier, so he's got a little bit more work on his engine compared to most of the other cars in the main event. So mechanical issues for Hamlin. He was a lap down. Free pass will go to Michael McDowell in 34th. Unless free passes don't count in this race. I would assume they do. So they head to another commercial break. 97 laps to go when they go green, and they have about another 22 laps before the competition caution to refuel the race cars, change tires, and make whatever minor adjustments they can make in a 10-minute period. And during that break, Ice Cube will be performing a halftime show of sorts during that. I cannot play the music that he is playing. I definitely know I will get copyrighted for that. Yeah, I am listening to the race in my ear so that way I know exactly what's going on while I'm commentating this. And then just kind of watching it on my TV accordingly. I'm listening to it through my laptop. Am I going to cover the duels? I can't do the commentary for the duels because I will be at the duels. I'll be at the track all speed weeks long, so I won't be doing any live commentary there. And then I'll also be at Auto Club too, so no live commentary there also. So we won't have another live commentary race until the third race of the year at Vegas. Points race at least. Let me check the commentary schedule real quick. I'm pretty sure Vegas is going to be the first one. I know it's the first one I'm available to do. Yes, Las Vegas. So the next 3 live commentary races that I will be doing will be the 3rd race of the year at Las Vegas, the 4th race of the year at Phoenix, and the 6th race of the year at COTA. because I will be at the other 3 races that aren't going on within that stretch. The Daytona 500, of course, all of Speed Weeks. I will be there. I will be at the Cup race for Auto Club, and I will be at the Cup race at Atlanta. So the only other 3 races I'm able to do from now and COTA would be Vegas, Phoenix, COTA. But I do plan on doing live commentary. You could go back in the community tab of the channel to see the races I will be doing live commentary for. Again, we'll be doing pre-race shows through all of them throughout the course of the season as well. That will be live streamed. No steering from Denny Hamlin. I'll get an update in my ear real quick. They're just coming back from the break on my end. Here's an interview with Denny Hamlin.
It looks like the power steering belt, we don't have power steering, but the belt evidently came off and took the hose with it, and so we didn't have any steering ability. So this is something, probably you'll see a lot of this year. It's just, fixing all the bugs that are going to happen, and we just unfortunately had a power steering issue.
Power steering issue from Denny Hamlin in the 11 has pulled them out of the Busch Light Clash. About to head to the restart. Lining up after getting to the choose cone that last time by. Tyler Reddick will be on the inside. Joey Logano, who is in third, will elect to restart on the outside of the front row. Kyle Busch will be inside of row 2. And now there's an issue with Chase Briscoe in the 14. He is pulled behind the pit wall. So an issue with Chase Briscoe now. Briscoe complaining about no drive, that it was rattling when he was trying to hit the gas. So issues with Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin during the caution that was involved for Stenhouse spinning. Leaving now just 21 cars on the track, and now Tyler Reddick has an issue. Tyler Reddick, the race leader, is having a problem, and he has stalled out. Mechanical failures of all sort going on under the caution. He's led 51 and 53 laps tonight. Transaxle is believably what Reddick has broken on his race car. So race leader and favorite, at least during the main event, Tyler Reddick is out of the race with a transaxle break. And this will give the lead to Kyle Busch now heading to the restart. They already had the one to go signal when he had pulled off. And then he stopped on the backstretch. Kyle Busch ready for the restart. Joey Logano and the rest of the field also ready for the restart. They'll be on the front row. Green flag back in the air. Logano still on the outside of the front row. That lines up Kyle Larson, though, in third on the restart. Logano able to pull down in front of him now to hold on to second. Justin Haley still on the outside of Larson, though. He needs to get to the bottom quickly, but it's going to be tough because there's a whole line of cars there. So now Kyle Busch is back in the lead after leading 2 laps earlier on in the day after starting from the pole. But Tyler Reddick, who has dominated the main event, is now done. Good news is at least it's a non-points race, so it won't hurt any of these drivers with their mechanical issues that they have had in the early going of this main event tonight. But we haven't seen really any mechanical issues all night, excluding Ty Dillon in the first heat race. Didn't see any in the last chance race, and now we've seen a flurry of them here all of a sudden the first 58 laps of the Busch Clash. Kyle Busch first, Joey Logano second, Justin Haley third, Kyle Larson fourth, and William Byron rounds out the top 5. Eric Jones in 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, Ryan Blaney 8th, Daniel Suarez 9th, and Christopher Bell rounds out the top 10 off of this most recent restart. Daniel Suarez getting shuffled to the outside now as Christopher Bell makes a pass for position on him. Austin Dillon also to the inside. So 3 cars are now out of the race with the issues to Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Briscoe all during the caution flag. Had nothing to do with the actual caution itself. Leaving 20 cars on the track, just 16 on the lead lap after, yes, McDowell did get the free pass during the caution flag. Somebody else will be getting the free pass in another caution that will be in 11 laps, which will be the competition yellow. Battle for the lead going on right now between Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Logano looking for his first lead of the night. All over the back of the 18. Lap traffic will be arriving here in a few laps. Well, fastest average speed is about 67 miles an hour. Top speed, I have no clue. Oh, car around. Chase Elliott is in the wall. Elliott has gotten spun, and we have our second caution of the main event. Didn't actually get to see the spin. Fox just kind of cut to the actual parked car of Elliott, who was against the outside wall. And it looks like his best buddy, Ryan Blaney, had gotten into him off the exit of turn 2. And then as they went into turn 3, Elliott spun. So I don't know if that had anything to do with Blaney getting into him the corner before, because Blaney did not hit him in turn 3 where Elliott had actually spun. I think Elliott might have just wheel hopped it, getting into the braking zone in turn 3, and he spun on his own. We have not seen a car spin on his own without any contact all race weekend long between practice and the actual main event race itself. There's pretty significant damage to the left front of Elliott's number 9 Camaro right now. We'll see if he'll pull in or if he'll keep it out on the track. As Patrick Shadley actually stated earlier today with the cars that were getting wrecked during the last chance qualifier, that there were some potential issues, obviously, that some of these cars are backup cars for the 500 next week. Here's Tyler Reddick with his interview.
The pit stops are going to be due, dropping the clutch like that, so unfortunate, but I'd rather break it here than in a points-paying race or at the Daytona 500, but I mean, just an incredible job by our guys. This Guaranteed Rate Chevrolet was amazing. We really did a lot of the right things going into this race, and we took off a little better than Kyle did, and our car drove good in traffic, so I mean, it's a bummer. It's not too heartbreaking at the same time, though, because, I mean, what I did was directly what caused the break at sea. We'll learn from it and hope to never let it happen again. We'll turn into a positive and learn from the best we can for the season coming. Thanks, Tyler.
Learning curves being thrown all over the place in tonight's Busch Clash for these teams. Of course, again, the first competitive race with the Clash cars, or with the next-gen cars. I guess the good thing is, with running these next-gen cars in an exhibition race to start the season, is that these mechanical issues that they are having tonight will hopefully they can learn from and not have when the season begins at Daytona in 2 weeks. 104 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Greatly appreciated, everybody. Heading to the choose cone, I'm sure Kyle Busch will be on the inside again, and Logano choosing to go to the outside instead of on the bottom behind Busch, so that's interesting. Row 2 will be Haley and Byron. Row 3 will be Larson and Blaney. Well, Blaney wins. He's your favorite driver, too. He's up to 6th, quietly. Quiet but good day for the 12 team right now. Half of the race is essentially over, yes. I'm not going to live stream the races while I'm there in person. I don't think the internet capability would even be possible for me to do that. Don't worry, though. I'll videotape it and I'll post the race highlights from the grandstands like I did last year. Enhanced briefly off of what I had from last season. Still a tough break for any Tyler Reddick fans or even that 8 team as their own because they look very sporty here tonight. Green flag is back in the air. 9 laps to go until the competition caution to refuel the race cars, change tires, make whatever adjustments they need to for the second half of tonight's race. We've had 2 cautions for incidents so far in this main event. Busch was able to clear Joey Logano down the backstretch, but now Logano puts the bumper to the 18 of Busch, trying to get around him in turn 3. Busch hangs on to the race lead side by side behind the 22 car of the 31 and the 24. Haley has looked great all weekend long. He won his heat race after qualifying 3rd overall last night. He is still inside the top 3, and we're almost halfway home. Side by side back for 5th place, 6th place rather, Ryan Blaney and Austin Dillon battling for position. Dillon stuck on the outside lane. Blaney clears him, and Dillon was able to get back down to the bottom in between both Blaney and the 43 of Eric Jones. More passing going on outside the top 10, but inside the top 10, mostly single file. Kevin Harvick rather, who started way back in the field after having to advance through in the last chance qualifying race, is actually now inside the top dozen. He just made a pass on his teammate Custer for 11th. And Suarez was also able to get around the 41. Elliott, who spun after he was just inside the top 10, the back half of it, is trying to work his way back. He's already up to 14th off the restart. Passing a few race cars that were on the lead lap. 2 more laps until the competition caution. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Justin Haley, William Byron, Kyle Larson, the top 5. Logano's got a couple more corners to try and get around Busch before the competition caution. And he is definitely driving it really hard, trying to get to the 18. But you don't want to show all your cards right now if you could help it. Big bump. Logano moves Busch in the final corner. And Kyle Busch will have the lead at the line. But I don't think the caution's going to come out until all the lead lap cars get to the start-finish line. So Logano has the lead. And now the caution will wave. So Joey Logano nabs the lead from Kyle Busch with a bump and run right before the caution came out. Interesting. End to the first 75 laps, and I'm sure Kyle Busch will remember that for when they go back to green in another 10 minutes or so. Busch did a great job after that huge slide from the contact from the 22 to keep it off the outside wall. That was a gigantic bump and run. That was Martinsville level bump and run from 2018. The only difference is he didn't rub alongside the 18 after he moved him up out of the way. But he definitely slammed him from behind. Martin Truex Jr. is still in the race. Yes, he is actually going to get the free pass during this mid-race break for the caution. So Truex will get back on the lead lap. Free pass in 18th. So 2 cautions for incident, and now we have a stage break, or at least a halftime break of some sorts. Drivers, again, can make minor adjustments, fuel the race cars, change tires, whatever they need during this break. Just like in traditional short track racing where the races are longer in length like this one. So Kyle Busch leads. Joey Logano second. Justin Haley third. William Byron fourth. Kyle Larson fifth. Ryan Blaney sixth. Austin Dillon seventh. Eric Jones eighth. Christopher Bell ninth. AJ Allmendinger rounding out the top 10 as of right now. Well, we hit 3.9. Sorry, 1.3. I don't know why I said 3.9. Very close to 1.4 thousand subs. We are only 6 away. Like, share, and again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Yeah, Bowman did not make it into the main event. Robert Broman, welcome to the stream, by the way. Bowman was eliminated and had gotten one of the late race accidents in the last chance qualifier. Have to let me know if I think that was just a static in my ear from the commercial. Heard some static going on there. I thought it was the mic for a second. Halfway home. The Busch Light Clash. Go Bell for CGR. He's in the top 10. Definitely some heavy hitters coming into the race weekend that you thought would have either just ran better or maybe even could have had a chance to compete for the win, or either out of the race or didn't even make the main event. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman. Ice Cube having his pre-race concert right now. Or midway concert, I guess you would say. Not really pre-race anymore. I'm listening to it, but I can't play it for you guys. I've noticed, like, there's a lot of younger people in the crowd this weekend. Now, I'm not saying that that's not the case at normal NASCAR races. There are young people that attend NASCAR races, but it seems like the majority of the crowd is younger based. R6, welcome to the stream. Scott Johnson, welcome as well. Should recreate the basketball scene from Escape from LA. I honestly have never seen that movie. I'm not a big movie person. There's a lot of probably classic movies I've never watched. Don't mean to disturb any of you guys. I was wrong about Bowman. But it's just one race. This isn't even a points race, so as far as like your regular season predictions go, I mean, Bowman's still, in my opinion, going to have a good season. Now, he could miss the playoffs. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so. I mean, I think he'll get a couple wins this year. I just said in my predictions video that I don't think he's going to get as many wins as he had last year. Just because he takes a step back doesn't mean he had a bad season. 2 wins in a round of 12 appearance is not a bad season. But he'll be outshined, in my personal opinion, compared to his other 3 teammates, because I think he'll be the 4th best Hendrick driver this year, which he was most of last year. Don't let the winds fool you. Eric Glenn, welcome to the stream. If you're wondering why there's no live commentary of the race, they're at the 10-minute midway race break to refuel the cars and make any adjustments they need to. I will say, though, now, I know this isn't my, genre of music, but this is far better of a, far better production quality and overall production of the concert, both pre-race and mid-race, compared to what happened at the All-Star race last year with Sammy Hagar. I think we can all agree with that. I grew up on classic rock. I love Sammy Hagar, but the production quality of him singing during the actual pace laps and literally as they were taking the green, it's still, by the time they entered into turn one, he was still finishing up his one-song concert. Grant oh man, I might mess this up. Any Rex yet? Yes. Grant, welcome to the stream. Lone Wolf, welcome to the stream as well. What are the plans for the Coliseum after the race? I would assume business as usual. They're hosting the Olympics. Oh, they still got a couple years. This year's the Winter Olympics, so they got 2 more years. But I know what year are the Olympics coming back into the U.S.? I know they're going to prep for that. Obviously, college football season next year. I don't think they're having any, big events, such like this between now and football season next year. Not that I know of. Station 9 Inc. Welcome to the stream. As far as the wrecks so far tonight, yes, there was a spin at lap 53. Stenhouse was involved in the spin off the front bumper of the 21 of Harrison Burton. And then we also had a spin from Chase Elliott, which was actually self-inflicted. He didn't get turned at all. He just kind of wheel hopped to getting into turn 3. He spun, hit the left front into the outside wall, but he is still running and still looks competitive enough. He's back up to 13th during our stage break. Yeah, I personally like some of these songs might sound familiar, but I personally couldn't actually name you a song from Ice Cube. I guess the same kind of goes for Pitbull too, though. Like if you played certain songs, I would know that I'm like, oh yeah, that's Pitbull, but I couldn't actually name you a song. Just not the music I listen to. That's all. Not, not trying to discourage any of you viewers out there. Like, oh my God, he doesn't know any of this. I'm curious to know how many of you guys down in the chat would frequently either listen to Pitbull or Ice Cube. Just out of curiosity, that's all. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. I mean, I'd probably prefer Led Zeppelin over AC/DC. I'm not a big AC/DC fan. I don't know why. I just, like my dad, that's like his all-time favorite band. I just feel like every song just kind of sounds the same. I'm more of a metalhead. Like, I grew up listening to classic rock, so there'll be times I'll go back and listen to stuff from the 80s and 90s for sure. But I mostly listen to metal. But I respect classic rock. I mean, that's if I didn't listen to classic rock all those years growing up, like on the radio whenever we were going somewhere to the grocery store. If I didn't listen to that stuff, I wouldn't listen to the music I listen to now today. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be the case, so I respect it for sure. I'd prefer Led Zeppelin, though, if I had to pick. Which is actually funny you say that, because Led Zeppelin's probably my grandpa's... Well, it is my grandpa's favorite band of all time, and then my dad's favorite band, I believe, is AC/DC, but I don't know. I don't really care for AC/DC too much. Obviously, if there's a song playing, you know, like, I mean, you'll hear it, like, at stadiums, whatever the case is, or on the radio a lot. I mean, if I don't personally listen to the radio anymore, but, like, if my mom or dad are listening to the radio, or my grandpa's listening to the radio, and that'll come on, like, I'll listen to it, obviously. You know, I respect it, but I don't go out of my way to listen to AC/DC, I guess I would say. Moro Calderon, welcome to the stream. Slipknot show on TV. Censorship will be going off every 2 minutes. There's some songs Slipknot could play. Like, they're the most, like, mainstream metal band within the last, like, 20 years. Like, I know Metallica's obviously number one, but I'm talking excluding Metallica, maybe leaning more towards, like, people in their 20s and 30s and what they grew up on, if you're looking at, like, Slipknot. But there are some songs that they could play that, like, they could play Before I Forget. Like, they could play that and not get copyrighted in concert, or censored off, I guess, in a concert. They could probably get away with some songs. I don't really listen to Rammstein either. One German band I've been listening to recently, though, they're going through a name change right now, but Eskimo Callboy. They're fun. We're talking about music during the NASCAR commentary. For anybody that's just tuning in, we're currently at the stage break. Trust me, there will be a live commentary when they get back to racing. The Drit? I don't think I've heard of that. Gallon of hot beer, $100. Cheap Thunder 247, welcome to the stream. Hot beer? Who would drink hot? It's already like 75 degrees outside. Now, I don't drink alcohol, but I don't know why you would drink like something warm like that when you're in the sun. 75 is not hot by any means, but I feel like when you're in the sun, you would want something cooler or with ice. Yeah, I listen to some nu metal. I kind of grew up on that too. Like anything classic rock or like nu metal, like Linkin Park, Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days. Well, 3 Days Grace isn't really nu metal, but you know, like bands like that from like I grew up on that stuff. Like right now, Metallica's my favorite band of all time. I don't think anything will surpass that, but like bands I've listened to within the last probably 5 to 6 years I really, really like outside of Metallica would be probably like Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium, Killswitch Engage. Like that's kind of the stuff I listen to now, the metalcore. Huge Beatles fan, but the 80s hair bands rock. I mean, yeah, I respect, like, I can listen to, like, most rock bands. I can, no matter what genre it is, I'll listen to it. The only genre of, like, metal I don't really listen to, metal or rock I don't like listening to would be, like, black metal. I mean, it's just, like, I feel like they're just hitting the same notes as fast as they possibly can. It's, like, it just doesn't, I don't get any feel into it. Van Halen, yeah, rock on. A lot of you guys listen to like rock or metal. That's pretty cool. We never really talk music on the channel. Lake Havoso, welcome to the stream. 75 degrees at the track. Track temps 101 degrees is at least what they were at the start of the heat races. I believe they're still like that right now. Hate Limp Bizkit. Richard's Outdoor World, welcome to the stream as well. NASCAR has gone full woke now, fully embracing. Cars are back on the racetrack, currently under caution laps that, again, do not count. Teams have made their adjustments, and they are ready for the second half of this race. Austin Holiday, welcome to the stream. Do I see this tuning into the Last Chance qualifying race number 2? Potentially. I don't think all 75 laps are going to be like that. But I think kind of what we saw at the end of the first segment, I think we'll be seeing cautions every 10 to 20 laps. I could see that being the case. And then maybe have a couple green-white checkers or a couple restarts in the final 10 laps. I don't see there being any more than 4 or 5 cautions in these final 75 laps. So the guys at the front of this field, excluding Logano, even Busch has become a lot more tame the last couple of years. I feel like they can at least race each other somewhat respectively. We'll see. GS99 Goaty, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody who I have. Santiago Espindola, welcome to the stream. Dola, sorry. David Grillo, welcome as well. Green flag is back in the air. The second half of the Busch Light Clash is underway. Kyle Busch gets a great jump off the restart, pulling ahead of both Logano and Byron, who are side by side for second. Logano leaning on the 24 of Byron. Larson takes it to the inside. 3 wide for second place as they enter into turn 3. Byron backs out of it to try to get back down to the bottom, but in doing so, he gets drilled from behind by the 31 of Justin Haley. Haley now to the inside of William Byron. Side by side for fourth place now. Larson up to second, and it's the Kyle and Kyle show at the front of the field with Larson trying to run down Busch. Byron, Haley still side by side for fourth, in line behind Joey Logano. Austin Dillon, who's had a quiet but good run in the main event, in sixth place, sitting behind them. Now he bumps the back of the 24 as Haley was able to clear Byron. And Byron squeezes in line, and he's able to hold to the bottom even with the contact from the 3 of Dillon. Pavement is holding up pretty well. Probably another reason why it's only 150 laps. Probably don't want to risk anything. I can't blame them for that, especially with how new it is, and they don't need it to last long because they're tearing it apart after the race. AJ Allmendinger's also worked his way up to 10th. He was also in the last chance qualifier, so both Kaulig cars are inside the top 10 now. Wonder if it could possibly be a precursor for how the Kaulig teams can run this year. Remember, they did have one win with AJ Allmendinger back at the Indianapolis Road Course last season. And Justin Haley does have a cup win, as we mentioned earlier on in the race, at Daytona a couple years ago with Spire Motorsports. It's a great super speedway / restrictor plate racer in the Xfinity Series. He'll be one to watch for at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta this year, to say the least. So Logano was in the lead. I think they actually gave Busch the lead because he was leading at the start-finish line when they completed 75 laps. The caution didn't actually wave until halfway after the lap was over, because I believe they were waiting for all the lead lap cars to finish their lap. But the scoring stopped at the start-finish line, so Kyle Busch had the lead when they were side-by-side to the line, which is why Busch was the control car on this restart. Yep, Byron's on the 24 now. You be tripping, welcome to the stream. Over 100 people watching once again, and again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Shaping up late in this race, already only 62 laps to go. Busch, Larson, a second apart from one another. Logano a few car lengths back behind Larson, now even closing in quicker. Joey was fast enough to get around the 18 right before the end of the first stage, or that first 75-lap segment, and now he's kind of back in traffic a bit. Leaders, I'm sure, will catch lap traffic before the end of this if it stays green long enough. Fox going side by side, so we'll keep the live commentary going. Logano has just made the pass on Kyle Larson for second through turns 3 and 4. Larson gets back down to the bottom lane in front of teammate William Byron. Justin Haley gets shuffled to the outside. Byron gets around him for position. And now a little jam session as they head down into turns 3 and 4. Dillon with a push to the back of the 31, which knocked him into Byron in the 24, but they keep it going in the right direction. Kyle Busch first, Joey Logano second, Kyle Larson third, Byron fourth, Haley rounds out the top 5. Austin Dillon 6th, Ryan Blaney 7th, Eric Jones 8th, Christopher Bell 9th, AJ Allmendinger rounds out the top 10, Kevin Harvick 11th, Chase Elliott 9th, Cole Custer 13th, 14th is Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell rounds out the top 15, Harrison Burton 16th, Martin Truex Jr. 17th is the last car on the lead lap. Justin Haley's your prediction to win. Bold, but he's having a great run. It's been great all weekend. Track position definitely matters. All the drivers that finish at the front of their heat races are the ones pretty much running inside the top 5 to 6 all main event long. No surprise, the fastest cars in qualifying on a track like this are the ones to beat. And Busch, who is now slowly eclipsing the most laps led from Tyler Reddick after Reddick had dropped out of the race at lap 53 caution. After leading 51 of the first 53 laps after starting second and winning his heat race earlier today. William Byron trying to get around his teammate Kyle Larson now as Larson may be struggling a little bit more. Byron was one of the drivers to watch in our pre-race show today, and he is working on third place. Trying to race his teammate cleanly, but he's going to have to use the bumper if he's going to want to get around him. I know there's only 51 laps to go, but you've got to get going now. How quickly the laps fly by here. Less than 15 seconds. You get about 4 to 5 laps in a minute. We're not that far from the finish. Kyle Busch won the Busch Clash at the Daytona Road Course last year. He also won the Bushy McBusch race at Kansas last season. Back with another race with the name Busch in the name, Kyle Busch is coincidentally leading again. Coincidence? I think so, but at the same time, if you want to put your tinfoil hats on, you might end up having to do that in about 44 laps if Kyle Busch can hang on to win this race. Joey Logano, since taking over second place away from Kyle Larson, is closing in, and he used the bumper the last time he got to Busch to try to make the pass. I'm sure he will use it immediately when he gets to him this time. But if he does it with too many laps to go, Kyle Busch will be right there to repay the favor. I'm sure of it. Lead down to 0.6 of a second, and there is a conga line of lap traffic in front of Kyle Busch coming within the next few laps. Larson keeping decent pace with Logano and starting to pull away from his teammate William Byron, at least for a few car lengths. But once they get into lap traffic, we saw how wild that was in the first segment earlier today. It really was a difference maker, and Reddick being able to pull away from Kyle Busch earlier on when they were battling for the lead. Logano now within 2 car lengths of Kyle Busch into turn 3. First lap car will be Busch's teammate Truex. 40 to go. Again, Busch first. Kyle Busch, that is. Joey Logano second. Kyle Larson third. Byron fourth. Haley rounds out the top 5. And as they battle nose to tail, Logano is there. He'll put the bumper to Kyle Busch in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Does not knock him out of the way that time. And now the lap traffic is nearly side by side in front of Busch. They jam up Logano to the inside of the 18 again, and he has to sit behind him down the straightaway. Logano going to try to arc the corner off a bit. Rolling around the lap car of Bubba Wallace, who stays high to let the leaders go. He's already multiple laps down. There's nothing really for Bubba Wallace to fight through. He's carrying damage from that last chance qualifier and has kind of been off the pace throughout most of the main event. Busch, Logano, still nose to tail. Again, Logano looking for the lead. Can't get there. And there is a caution on the racetrack. Ryan Blaney is slow. Problems for Ryan Blaney as Logano slammed into the back of Busch. I think it was after the caution was already over, but Joey might not have known that there was a yellow. Tire rub on the right rear of Ryan Blaney bringing out the caution. And he was very slow as the leaders were trying to get around him, which is why the yellow had been thrown. See how Blaney got the contact. It rammed into from behind by the 43 of Eric Jones, and then he just kind of got shoved and squeezed into the outside wall. The contact with the outside wall is what caused the right rear tire to have its issue. Now, I'm not sure if it was the tire itself going down, and I think it looks to be more of damage that is not going to be able to be fixed during the yellow, and Ryan Blaney's day will come to an end. Yeah, so something broke with the rear suspension, it looked like, when he got into the wall. That wall has not been forgiving today. We have seen cars take some pretty hard hits, even at some smaller speeds compared to most tracks. In fact, all tracks on the schedule, they're really only cranking about 90 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway in clean traffic. But we've seen some hard enough hits that have torn up some race cars like Kurt Busch earlier today, Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric, and the last chance race. Now an issue here with Ryan Blaney after getting squeezed into the wall by Eric Jones. Harry T, welcome to the stream. Yep, 35 laps to go when they get back to the restart. No mullet today. Blaney with the sacrifice. It looked like we were going to see a really good battle between Logano and Busch. I think this caution might actually help Busch because he's been launching great on the restarts. Here's an interview with Ryan Blaney.
Just wants to destroy me for 7th. Don't really make no sense, so I don't know. Just kind of riding around and just running back and killed our car. So yeah, it was bad, but don't have that.
It's short track racing, Mike.
Blaney upset with the 43 of Eric Jones for getting squeezed into the outside wall. While running inside the top 10 tonight, quiet but good day for both Blaney and Jones. They've been running pretty much 7th to 9th the entire main event. Austin Dillon also right around those guys having a quiet but good race in 6th. Fight. They're not going to fight in an exhibition race. Not this exhibition. I mean, the All-Star race, there's more money on the line for the winner. I think that's why you saw Boyer walk up to Newman's car that one year. He was throwing punches. Honestly, as tame as Blaney was for the most part, other than stating he was angry, I think he was actually the most angry we've seen a driver tonight. Which is strange considering it's Ryan Blaney and how, calm and cool he seems to be. And the fact it's not a points race, what a weird area. I mean, anybody is in contention as long as they're on the lead lap. If we saw anything from that last chance qualifying race earlier today, caution laps do not count. So again, there will be 35 laps to go on the restart from when the caution first waved. Kyle Busch will again be restarting on the inside of the front row. And on the outside of the front row, I believe it's Joey Logano once again. It is. So it's interesting because in the heat races and in the last chance race, we saw some drivers restarting. Really, if you were inside the top 2 to 3, they were all taking the inside. But so far in the main event, at least by Joey Logano's standards, he's been taking the outside of the front row despite the fact he has been in second place on the restart. And I find that curious because if Larson could just keep up with Busch on the jump, there's a good chance Larson could get to second. In fact, that's how Larson got to second on the last restart. So very interesting why Logano chose the outside once again, but we'll see if it works out for him. Green flag back in the air. Kyle Busch will lead the field down into turn 1. Joey Logano holding strong, door-to-door contact. Busch runs the 22 wide. Into turn 3 they go. Still more contact as he's roughing up the 22 of Logano. Larson nearly gets turned. Haley down into the inside wall, and that will bring out another caution. Heavy damage to the left front of Justin Haley's race car, and his amazing weekend will come to an end. The 31 is all sorts of tore up. That's as damaged as we've seen a car all day long. Our 5th caution of the race, 2 laps after the restart. Haley tried to throw a block, presumably for 3rd on Kyle Larson. Larson, it looked like, tried to throw a block on Haley. He was not clear. Haley didn't want to lift, which I don't think you could blame Haley for that. Yeah, that was all Larson. What a tough break for Haley. Larson was trying to cut down and block, but he just was nowhere close to clear. And he just knocked the 31 right into the inside wall. Yeah, Kyle and Joey were teammates. Now they're leaning on each other, racing for a win. Joey and Denny were teammates there for a few years too, and those two absolutely hate each other also. Kyle Larson. Yeah, not Kyle Busch. Kyle Larson tried to throw a block on Justin Haley for 3rd and was nowhere close to clearing him, and that knocked Haley into the inside wall. Hate to see it. He was in the top 5 all night. Won his heat race. But hopefully we see more great things out of this kid for Kaulig Racing later this year. Frustrating end to Ryan Blaney and Justin Haley's nights. They were in the top 7 most of the race, but now they are out with 35 and less laps to go. Clean up on the front stretch now where Haley ended up hitting the inside retaining walls. They put the wall back together. All concrete down there. Kind of like they had to do after Cindric had wrecked in the last chance qualifier against the inside wall earlier in the race. Anything that's named Busch or has Busch in it, Kyle Busch is going to win. I think we've seen that recently. That is very true. Let's see, how many likes are we at now? I got to refresh it. 57 likes right now. We've had upwards of 125 people watching. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Love how tough this new car is and sounds amazing. I can't wait to hear the sound in person because on TV it sounds pretty good. And honestly, it sounds meaner than the Gen 6 car off of TV and off of videos I've seen on YouTube with the next gen. Yeah, put Busch in every race. Kyle Busch will go undefeated. Yeah, I mean, outside of Tyler Reddick, though, I think Logano's the only other one that's had speed for Busch all race weekend. Because even Kyle Larson, who got the second a couple restarts ago, after a few laps, Logano got back around him and just started pulling away from Larson. Larson just could not keep up with Busch or Logano. Logano and Busch are definitely the two favorites from now to the end of the race, but the way they were leaning on each other that last restart, and the way Logano completely knocked the 22 car, or knocked the 18 out of the way right before the comp yellow at lap 75. It's going to be an interesting way to end this. Ready to fly to California. I am likely not flying. I am likely going to drive, as nuts as that sounds, but I'm in for it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I chickened out. I chickened out on the flying. If I was going with somebody, I would definitely fly. I don't want to get lost. 62 likes. Yeah, let's try to get that to 100 before the end of the stream. Let's try to get to 100 likes. We have consistently between 110 to 130 people watching, so smash the like button again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, more live commentary, live streams coming out throughout the course of 2022. 22 scheduled. We got 21 more still to go. The next one will be at Las Vegas in a few weeks. I will be at the first 2 points-paying cup races this year, the Daytona 500 and then the Auto Club 400 at Auto Club. Race highlight videos and other videos from the racetrack for those weekends will be coming up. But as far as the live commentary goes, that will be the next one for an actual race. Still do realistic commentary for NASCAR video game stuff during the week as well, as you'll be seeing a lot of that coming up this weekend before I leave for Daytona the week after. Pick you up. You're probably out of my way, if I had to guess. So Kyle Busch will go to the inside behind Logano. Logano had the lead at the time of the caution. Kyle Larson will choose to go to the outside. He was in third when the yellow waved, so he'll be on the outside of the front row now. And Austin Dillon outside of row 2. Byron and Jones in row 3. 34 laps to go as we head for the next restart. This race is either going to take 5 minutes or it's going to take another hour. We'll see which one it'll be. NASCAR going to their crank it up. On to the restart. Green flag back in the air. Yes, Blaney is still out on the track, but he's 3 laps down. So they did get the car repaired, but he's a few laps down. Logano was able to get the launch off the restart. He clears Larson. Larson was able to pull down between Logano and Busch. So Busch, who was in second, now is back to third. And Logano, who is creeping in on the 18 before the caution. Now can he make it to the end and hold on and pull away from the rest of the field to win it? Christian J. Smith, welcome to the stream. Logano, Larson, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, William Byron, the top 5. Eric Jones, 6th, Christopher Bell, 7th, Chase Elliott, 8th, Cole Custer, 9th, and A.J. Allmendinger rounds out the top 10. And in these final 28 laps, if we do stay green to the end of the race, I'm sure we'll see lap traffic. Kyle Larson, though, is not going anywhere behind the 22 of Joey Logano. Kyle Busch has not really put the bumper to Larson yet and trying to make the pass. Maybe waiting to see if Larson's got enough speed to get to Logano himself, so that way the 5 and the 18 don't battle each other too much, allowing the 22 to pull away. Don't want to be too patient, though, if you're Kyle Busch. And speaking of which, Busch gets into the left rear of Kyle Larson. Sends him into turn 3, door to door for second. Busch on the inside, Larson on the outside. Busch is clear. Larson ducks back down to the bottom, but he pinches off Austin Dillon, who was already there, and nearly knocked him into the inside wall. Dillon locks the brakes up. I think he was trying to get back into the 5. They're chopping him off the corner before. A second car, Larson's chopped off pretty heavily in this one. But this time we stay green. Larson's starting to lock up the tires as well. And here is Justin Haley with the interview.
Put me in danger, so not really impressed with the move. It's hard to be a rookie and gain respect. 18 just passing clean and turned down.
That was Justin Haley. Kyle Busch in the middle of that interview while trying to run down Logano, locked the tires up, lost a little bit of time. He's about 0.8 of a second off the lead with 20 laps to go. And Joey Logano in the 22 trying to maintain that gap. Busch is still pulling away from the 5 of Kyle Larson. Slowly but surely, and he is creeping in on Logano. Busch was my pick. I do have $150 riding on him right now. So I would like if Kyle Busch won preferably, but he is pushing that car harder than what he has all day long, and really that he's had to. He's been leading most of the main event. He has been leading. He led every lap of his heat race. He qualified first. He knows nothing but leading as far as the LA Clash goes, but in today's race, now he's on the attack for the first time. Austin Dillon to the inside of Kyle Larson, and he'll take over third. Byron to the inside of Larson, who's stuck on the outside now while the leaders start to get back a little bit closer. And if Busch and Logano start to rough each other up, it could be potentially Austin Dillon who can make the run and a chance to win the race. Eric Jones also getting around Larson. Larson blocks the 20 of Bell to finally find himself in line, but he falls all the way back to 6th. 14 laps to go at the line now. Joey Logano leads, but Kyle Busch is now within just a couple car lengths. He's driving it in a whole lot deeper on corner entry than Joey Logano. Will he be able to hold up his tires from now to the end? Hamlin had a mechanical issue. He lost the power steering earlier in the race, so he had to pull into the garage. That was actually during the first caution where he noticed the issue. Logano has already ran into Kyle Busch once. Busch was rubbing on him again a little bit later. These two have a history with each other. They don't like each other. And I don't think they like each other now. Nothing is different. And now it's Busch on the attack. He knows what he has to do to pass the 22. And I'm sure he will do what we all think he may do if he gets the opportunity. 10 laps to go this time by. 10 quick laps around the quarter-mile bull rank at the LA Coliseum. Logano, Busch, 1-2. Just over 2 seconds back is Austin Dillon. Then it's Byron 4th and Eric Jones the top 5. 9 to go. Logano's probably driving it in just as hard just to make sure Busch can't get the bumper to him. Busch locks the tires up that time and loses just a tad bit of ground in turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, he doesn't lock the tires up though that time around, and he's able to get through. Lap traffic is closing in. I don't know if they'll get there before the checkered flag or not. If they do, Ryan Blaney will be the first lap car. He's a few laps down, but he is Logano's teammate, so I'd have to assume he may come into play here, and that could help Logano out. The lap car's in front of Blaney? I don't really think so, but we'll see if they get there first and foremost, because they only have 6 laps to go now off of turn 4. And will they stay green to the finish? Logano winning the race back to the gas, but it is Busch winning the race on corner entry. What will be the winning move? And what will matter more, acceleration or deceleration? Busch again locks the tires up. Blaney let the leaders go. Three and a half laps left. Next lap car is Bubba Wallace. That's an affiliated teammate of Kyle Busch. Will he get out of the way for the leaders as well, or will he stay in the way of the 22? Two laps to go now at the line. 2 to go for Busch to get around the 22 of Logano. Bubba Wallace in the way. Will he help the affiliated teammate out? He stays in front of him for now. Logano puts the bumper to the 23. Can't get around him. White flag. 1 lap to go. Wallace going to go wide. Now he'll let the leaders through. Busch has lost a little bit of time in the last lap and a half. And Joey Logano will make his way through turns 3 and 4. Joey Logano will win the 2022 Busch Clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Kyle Busch will come home a very close second place. Austin Dillon 3rd, Eric Jones 4th, and Kyle Larson rounds out the top 5 as they have wrecked in the back of the pack. Don't know if that was after the checker or before the checker, but McDowell and Truex had went around battling for about 15th. And the burnouts on the backstretch for Joey Logano. Chimp Plays, welcome to the stream. Sorry for anybody I didn't call out at the very end of the stream. James Jones, welcome. In the heat of the moment, I try not to look at the chat in case something gets spoiled there for the sake of the finish. But Joey Logano has won the Busch Clash. Great job for him. Definitely looks sporty. He won his heat race. Him and Busch had definitely the two fastest cars after Reddick got knocked out. And I'm sure Reddick could have been there with those two guys, but maybe that is where the equipment itself of a Penske or Joe Gibbs car goes compared to an RCR car. Maybe that could have been the overall difference as well, even with the new cars. We'll get to hear from Joey Logano in the victory celebration as soon as they get the microphone on him. Jamie Little is there with Joey. There's music playing. I don't want to get copyrighted. Hang on. Here's Jamie Little now with Joey Logano.
I can't believe it. We're here in LA Coliseum. We got the victory with the old Shotguns on Mustang. This is an amazing event. Congratulations, NASCAR. Such a huge step in our industry to be able to do this. Put on an amazing race for everybody. I'm out of breath. I was so excited about this. It was a big win. This is big. I'm having a baby. Well, my wife's having a baby tomorrow, our third one. So pretty big weekend for us. And
woo! We got a lot of applause for that. Baby number 3 on the way. But Joey, yesterday in practice, you guys struggled a little bit. You're learning this car, you're wrapping your arms around it. How did you step up so big, make those right adjustments, and be able to run and win here?
Yeah, Paul and Shaggy and the engineers do a great job. The guys working on the car did an amazing job. Finding speed, we were slow. We were 28th or so on the board yesterday, and made some good changes. Worked with our teammates, Ryan Blaney, a lot to him too, to see some of the gains they made and ultimately get the win. So I want to thank my buddy Hudson and Jameson and my wife Brittany. This is cool. I'm headed home there after this. So I told her, if you're having the baby, I'm just running right off the track from here. So I don't think it's happening right now, but this is special to get the first next gen win, the first win out here in the Coliseum. It's a special one. So we're gonna have some fun and celebrate it.
Logano won just one race last season. It was at Dirt Bristol. It has been about 9 months since his last victory, but now he is in victory lane again. Though it is not a points race and won't count towards his career statistics, still a very special moment in the career of Joey Logano. We never know if we're going to be able to see this race again. Here is Kyle Busch now with Regan Smith.
Doing and it looked like it just faded a little bit on you.
Yeah, I mean, I was being perfect, doing everything I thought I needed to do, keep the tires underneath me, and when I got close, I was like, okay, now I got to try more and pounce at an opportunity, and just overheated the tires and smoked them in 3 laps, so that was it. Disappointing, obviously, come out here, win the pole, and lead laps right up front. The finish goes green, and it's not chaotic, and we can't win, so that sucks, but, congratulations to my son. He won yesterday, so that's cool. I was trying to match him. He's winning more than me these days, so somebody better send him a contract.
There's Kyle Busch. Wait to see if we get any other interviews. If they do go to break, we'll run through the finishing order, and then we will head out. Nope, here's Eric Jones, who finished 4th.
Smooth him there, and then he brake checked me off at 4, and it's like, okay, no real reason. So I didn't appreciate that, and felt like I showed it on the track. So, we have a conversation. I mean, it's an exhibition race, and we're out here doing what we can, and I was frustrated with the move that he made, so that's what happened. But overall, I thought the focus factor Chevy was really good. Just a good weekend to come home 4th for us. We're just talking, it's not a race that means a lot as far as setups for the rest of the season, but nobody came out here not trying. So feels good to run good and hopefully carry that momentum to Daytona.
Congratulations.
And Regan Smith now with another driver, Austin Dillon, who finished 3rd.
of a sudden you showed up with a lot of speed. What else did you need at the very end of this thing?
Man, I don't know. From where we were last night, took a lot of crazy faith, a little prayer last night, talked to myself. We got it together today, though, man. The True Velocity Chevrolet was really fast. In practice, I just struggled a little bit qualifying. I knew we'd get in the race, we'd be fine. The long run speed was there. I'm disappointed I couldn't get to those next two cars. I was really wanting to get there, but all in all, a great race from where we were last night. And everybody back home at RCR, good job. It was a good showing for us.
Thanks, Austin.
We'll now take a look at the finishing results. Again, you can see on the left side of your screen right here on the channel. Joey Logano, our race winner of the inaugural Busch Light Clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Kyle Busch will end up finishing a close second place. He ended up leading the most laps today. Busch was able to lead 65 laps. 51 laps led for Reddick, and Logano led 35. And we had a total of 6 lead changes. Austin Dillon ended up finishing in 3rd. Eric Jones 4th. Kyle Larson rounded out the top 5. William Byron 6th. Cole Custer 7th. Christopher Bell 8th. AJ Allmendinger 9th. Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 10. Chase Elliott in 11th. Harrison Burton 12th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 13th. Daniel Suarez 14th. And Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 15. Michael McDowell was the last car in the lead lap in 16th. Ryan Blaney finished the race 3 laps down in 17th. Bubba Wallace finished the race 4 laps down in 18th. Those two had some damage. Bubba's damage came from the last LCQ race when he barely made it into the show, and then also Ryan Blaney had some damage in an accident earlier on in the main event. And then the DNFs 19th through 23rd. Justin Haley 19th. Ryan Preece 20th. Tyler Reddick had a mechanical failure while leading at lap 21. Finished 21st. That was at lap 53. Chase Briscoe ends up finishing 22nd, and Denny Hamlin rounds out the main event in 23rd. A night in which NASCAR is back. And whether you liked it or not, I think we're all proud to say that NASCAR is back this season. I personally thought it was a fun event. It was a non-points race, and for what it was, I had fun watching the race tonight with you guys. There were some fun moments throughout. There were some, moments where it was like, okay, come on, let's get some green flag laps going here. I pretty much think we can all agree that at the end of the last chance qualifier, it was pretty nuts there. The race that we saw in the battle for the lead, it was pretty much between 3 drivers all day, and one of them had a mechanical failure before the end, so it was pretty much down to Logano and Busch at the end. Logano had the track position on that last restart. Busch, if he maybe could have gotten around Larson a bit quicker, maybe he would have had a better chance to get to Logano's back bumper. But for those of you that were not able to actually watch it, Busch was so close. He was very close to the back bumper of Logano. He was trying to put the bumper to him and make it a memorable moment, to say the least, for the finish of this race, but he was just not able to do so. And then those final 4 or 5 laps, he was losing a little bit of time, maybe used up his tires a bit too much before they caught lap traffic. So that is the quick thoughts on that. I will have more thoughts in the fallout from this race tomorrow for a post-race analysis video on the channel. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. We had upwards of, I think, about 160 people watching the stream. Let me see how many likes there are once I refresh it. And we have 81 likes. So like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We'll be doing more live commentary live streams for real races this year. The next one won't be until the Las Vegas Cup race 3 of the season. But we will be doing many more, 21 more on schedule for the rest of the year. I will be at Daytona for Speed Week, so we'll be doing a lot of content at the channel for that. Race highlight video from the grandstands for every race during Speed Week, both the dual races, the truck, the Xfinity, ARCA, and of course the Daytona 500, as well as other videos, predictions, post-race analysis videos, and much more. Live commentary live streams as well, and realistic commentary live streams during the course of the week. Still this week, all the way throughout, as we'll be doing our Daytona 500 the weekend before the 500 next Sunday. Tomorrow night's live stream will be the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona on our custom schedule season for NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. So that will be that, and all on the road, of course, becoming a commentator down the road in the sport of NASCAR. On top of that, obviously, I thank you so much for not only tuning in tonight, but just supporting me on a pretty much daily basis. hit just over 1.4 thousand subs tonight, so thank you. I appreciate that as always, and I can't wait to have more content during this 2022 season, more commentary, strive closer to that goal, of course, and not only that, just flat out enjoy some racing with you guys at home. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Have a good rest of your weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Budweiser Shootout on NASCAR 05 on our custom schedule season.